Okay, so we're asked to find the length in this right angle triangle, but you're only given another length and an angle. When this is the case, this is going to be a trigonometry question. Step 1 of trigonometry, go across from the right angle and label that the hypotenuse. Go across from the marked angle and label that the opposite, because it's opposite the angle in the question. And the one left over is the adjacent. And the adjacent is the one next to the right angle and next to the marked angle. The second step is to cross out the one, the length, that doesn't have a letter or a number next to it. This time around, it's the poor adjacent. It's not part of the question at all. Then you're going to write down so, ka, toa. Now this is not given to you in the exam, okay, so you need to learn this off by heart. And these are basically three little triangles, so, ka, toa. So if you go around your room now just shouting Sokatoa, Sokatoa, Sokatoa 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times until you learn it, that's probably a good thing. Now, the next step is cross out the one that this question doesn't use. Now, this question uses the O and the H, and only one of these uses the O and the H. Well, we need an A in both this one and this one, so we're left with so. So this question's all to do with so. Now, there are two methods that I know of, in fact quite a few methods actually, to do this. I'm going to do it the easier method. The other method involves you writing sin x equals O over h and then substituting in from there. If you want to do that method, that's fine. This is the slightly easier method using the triangles. Now, S stands for sine, which is a button on the calculator, it's a function. And you can only ever sine, cos or tan an angle. So you'll only ever use the angle next to the bottom left one. So it's going to be sine 83. Now the calculator opens a bracket whenever you click sine, cos or tan, so you need to remember to close the bracket. Now the O, the opposite, on our diagram is labelled with an X. So we're going to substitute in the X. So I'm just copying down the same triangle as over here, but I'm just going to substitute in the values. The H, the hypotenuse, is 7.9. Now the way of doing this triangle, just like speed, distance, time triangle or pressure or density triangle, is if you are looking for the one at the top, you times the two at the bottom. So we're looking for the one at the top, which I'm going to call X, and in fact is called X, and I'm going to do sine 83 times 7.9. Now a little bit of advice, always try and put the number first and then times by sine 83, and the reason being is some students forget that the calculator opens that bracket and they end up doing sine bracket 83 times 7.9 close bracket, which you won't get the right answer. So I'm going to get my calculator now, and another tip is you don't even need to click the times, you can just write 7.9 sine 83 when we're doing it this way around. Don't forget to close the bracket, and we have 7.8411 blah blah blah. And last thing, just to check that makes sense, well, the hypotenuse is 7.9, so the length has to be less than that, and our value is less than that. So to two decimal places, it's going to be 7.84. Now, if you did it using the formula rather than the triangle, that's absolutely fine. But because this is now a foundation topic as well, I find students who are new to trigonometry find this method a bit easier.